Third quarter is when you guys down both offense. Especially leading out there and have a nice lead going through.
I mean, when you hold a team like that to 21 points, that's you could just boil it down to that. Being able to play the kind of defense that we played against a really good team that's been playing really well. Consecutive stops, that's who we are. And they were switching a lot tonight. And so when you can get stops, you don't have to play in offensive sets, if you will. It allowed us to get out in transition. We scored 33 points. But I thought the guys tonight being able to play in different defenses, because Giannis he's just unreal with his ability to get to the basket and post up and just cause a lot of problems, double teams, all the stuff that he does. We had to change up our coverages a number of times in the second and third. And it allowed us to just give them some different looks. They missed some shots. There were some open looks that they missed. But I thought the mental toughness that our guys showed tonight was extraordinary, because in shoot around this morning, they were tired. I could see it on them. And the coaches affirmed it after the game. They told me, like, yeah, they were spent this morning from the road trip, getting in really early in the morning the day before. Your sleep is all messed up. That first game back is always a tough one. And then having Milwaukee sitting right there waiting on you. You have to mentally get yourself ready to play. And so I thought the mental stamina of our team and the third quarter allowed for us to, have a good night.
Look at Aiden, and not only the night he had, physically, people out there look at that.
Yeah.
They were stretching defensively when we forced Giannis.
Yeah.
Tough shots, and he was tired at times, but gutted through it.
Yeah, he wanted to come out one time, and I just gave him the look, like, thankfully that there was a dead ball timeout, so he got like a 3-minute rest, and that helped us. But he's had a really good week, playing against Joel and playing him the way he did and getting the win in Philly. And then you wake up 2 days later and you got Giannis at your doorstep. That's a big time week for DA. And then offensively, I thought he was pretty dominant in the paint. His ability to, seal and get to his jump hook. His rebounding is always something that we can rely on. But I thought his seals tonight were about as good as he's ever been since I've been here.
Monty, when it becomes clear for the offense that DeAndre has the matchup inside of the ball, tries to get to him, it just seems like there's such a big improvement in the last year getting the ball there. Can you speak on that? What you saw from that tonight?
I just think a ton of work with Mark Bryant. It does help when you have Chris helping you with angles of the screens and that kind of thing. And then the shooting around him. You can't play in that environment if you don't have guys who can knock down shots that, keep the floor space, so he has a lot of room to punish a smaller guy. It worked for us tonight, but I think his ability to continue to grow as a player. Our first year here, we didn't see that. And now he's starting to understand that, that jump hook in the paint, or just powering over people, is a lot better than fading away. He can make that shot, the fade, but when you have a small down there and you can just put him in the basket, it's a productive play for us. And for me, to flatten out the defense, when you throw it down there to a big, the defense gets flattened out. Sometimes when you get caught up in just jacking up jump shots and you miss, those long rebounds turn into transition. And so I think his ability to post up like that, it's a double advantage for us, because he flattens out the defense.
Last year, you didn't have the alternative options to throw at Giannis like you did with Bismack tonight. What do you think of figuring that role?
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing was JaVale was just about winning. When I didn't put him back in the game, he was like, great, coach. He understood what we were trying to do. We just felt like Biz was a better matchup against Giannis. because of his ability to put the ball down against a bigger guy. And that gave us a chance to, spell DA for a little bit. But like I said in the pregame, great players, if you give them the same look the whole game, they're going to kill you. And so we had to change up bodies, change up defenses. We went zone a number of times tonight. Maybe that helped. I'll look at the film and get more clarity on that. But Biz really helped us tonight. His ability to, stay in front and be physical in the paint is huge, because Giannis is, he's one of the most unique players I've ever seen.
You talked in the pregame about that human side of a matchup. Does this win help confidence?
Nah. Confidence, yeah, but they're the defending champs. We still hurt. But from a confidence standpoint, for sure, I think it was a big game for us. I can admit it now. I think you circle games. I'm sure they have it circled when we go up there. It's just the competitive nature that we all have. But I do feel like, when you win against a really good team like that, it does build confidence.
It's kind of hard to believe how much DA has progressed in their 2.5 years, just from that, he's already been physically gifted. But he was, just from a mental standpoint, understanding matchups, seals, those type of things. I mean, he just doesn't seem to have as many off nights anymore.
Well, all of our guys put a ton of work in. You're right, he has grown. From day one till now, it's not a totally different player, just an improved player, but he's put the work in. And, he still has a ways to go. He would admit that. We just like where he's headed. And that's a weapon for us when we don't have to rely on, Chris and Book. The other night it was Mikal. Tonight it was DA. I think that's the advantage that we have on our team. Different guys can step up and make plays and help us win. But you're right, DA's come a long ways, but I think he'd be the first to tell you that he's got a ways to go.
So how would you just assess the offense overall in the sense that you guys got 68 points in the paint? Remember, at finals they might flip. Had that number. It looked like guys were getting buckets off cut.
Yeah.
What do you think of this offense?
Well, offensively, to have 35 assists and 8 turnovers, that's an unreal ratio. But then we talked about that first pass out of the switch. They would switch and then we'd kick it and then that guy would drive it. We had a number of those tonight where we got to the paint. That helped. And then, DA and JaVale and Biz in the paint tonight were huge. So that allowed for a number of paint points.
Obviously, tonight you played for a championship. Going back to the question about confidence, just seeing tonight's win in the 13th consecutive sellout, just how special was this win for you?
Well, every win is special for me because they're hard to get. To win in this league, everything that goes into it, preparation, players committing to a game plan, players making plays. I've just been around long enough to know I can't take one win for granted. And it's fun for us as a staff and organization, but really fun for our fans. And we enjoy, doing it here at home. So that's pretty cool.
Monty, when Ish comes in like that,
Yeah.
is that one of those moments you relish as a coach where he's earned the right to step in those kinds of moments?
That's a tough deal when I don't believe I played him in the first half. When you throw him in the third quarter and the guy's ready to play, it speaks not only to the work that he puts in, but the mentality to stay ready and know that when your number's called, you have to produce. And so, yeah, as a coach, to be able to throw a guy in the game like that and have him be productive and help you win is pretty cool, because he doesn't know when his name is going to be called. And when I look down there, he's always looking, and that's a hard position to be in. You have to be mentally strong to sit over there for that long and wait. And then when you do get called, go out there and try to have some success. And he did that tonight.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's the first game this year where the opponent has fouled you guys to get you guys to the free throw line. What was going through your head when that started happening?
Just make one. That's the analytics say if you can make one of those, you're in good shape. I think somebody else did it to us a few games ago, but Kev and I, when we were in Philly, we dealt with that in Philly. And the analytics say if you just make one, you're okay. And so the other compliment to that was it allowed for us to rest. And Chris and Jay and all of our guys got a chance to sit on the bench for a few more minutes. So it's not comfortable. I'm not going to sit here and say like I was okay with it. I guess that's the human side coming out of me, but the analytics say if you can just make one of those, you're okay.
There were a couple of stretches in the game where you had 4 bench guys on the court with and the Bucks came back with their big 3 or 4 of their starters or 4 of their starters. And the team held the lead after having the past week of losing, the lead against Washington and a tough ending against Chicago.
Yeah.
How'd that feel?
I just, in those moments, like the Washington game and the Chicago game, you feel like you have enough buffer to win the game. It's not comfortable, but what you're trying to do is get your starters rest and hope you can play a lot better than we did. Tonight, we played better. And I think as a coach, my job is to give confidence. And sometimes I may take a risk here and there. I'm not as comfortable, but I think it's my job to give our guys confidence. And if I snatch them all the time, I don't know if that breeds confidence. It's not always, textbook, but I'm just thankful they played well tonight because you're right. The Chicago and Washington game, that wasn't an ideal ending to those games. But I think as those lineups progress and spend more time on the floor, it just builds confidence. Thank you.
Yep.